Hello and welcome to Points of View / Facts versus Opinions with the Practice Managers Association. In this lecture, you will learn how to answer questions based on points of view, as well as facts and opinions using source documents in order to answer exam questions. So let's first start with going over the difference between fact, opinion and bias. So a fact is something that is true. We cannot argue with it. The Sun is a tabloid newspaper, for example, or Danebury is in Hampshire. KFC is a fast food restaurant. These are all true, okay? An opinion is something that is up to you, depends on what you think, your opinion on something. I think The Sun is an entertaining read. Well, that's obviously somebody's opinion, but I don't like The Sun myself, and that's okay, you're allowed your opinion. I've been to Danebury and I think it's lovely, also an opinion, somebody else might think it's horrible, and KFC is alright once in a while, okay? And some people love it all the time and some people don't eat fast food altogether. Now, bias is when something is one-sided based on either your opinion or your belief system. So the Sun newspaper is the finest newspaper on sale today. So something like that is used to try and sell the Sun newspaper. Okay, so it's bias, it's pointing towards the Sun as being one of the best newspapers, when really it might be another newspaper, or lots of different newspapers might come under the same kind of category as the Sun. But bias is trying to influence what you think, and that comes up quite a lot in the exam. Danebury is the loveliest place in Hampshire. KFC is the most unhealthy restaurant there is. Again, they are being negatively or positively biased. This the Sun one is positive bias, and so is this Danebury one, and this one is negative bias. Okay, so your opinion is one-sided. Like, my child is the best child. Well, your child is your child, so you think your child is the best child because that is your child. But obviously, Gemma, for example, might think that her child is the best child because it's her child. Of course you're going to be biased, it's your own child, okay, if that makes sense. I won't go through any more. If you wanted to pause the video and have a look through those, you can, just to give you a bit more of an idea of fact, opinion and bias. So please go ahead and do that now if you want to, and take down any notes that you need. But what I'm going to do now is go through some of the exam questions, again from the same paper that we've been looking at in the previous lectures, to identify some opinion and bias questions. Okay, so the first question that we're going to look at is a 3-mark question, and it says, provide 3 examples from the text that show the author has a negative view of salespeople. So a negative view, a negative bias towards salespeople. So let's have a look at the text that we've got to look at. So the text that we're looking at is this Gadget Man webpage. Again, you must have seen it a few times, especially if you've watched the other lectures, because I've used these ones throughout to keep it consistent. And we are looking for sentences or phrases that show a negative view, a negative bias view of salesmen. So I'm just going to underline some of the important bits here. I mean, feel free to pause the video and have a go at picking them out yourself. And don't forget, you can download the questions and the source documents within this lecture. Okay, so if you've paused the video and had a go, let's underline some of the important ones. So here we've got, don't let the sales team gloss over the boring bits, just here. Okay, so that's a bias or negative opinion of salesman, because he's assuming that the salesman will only tell you the good bits, and that's true for a lot of salesmen. And then at the bottom here, don't let a savvy salesman convince you a more expensive phone with a swanky video player is better. And then finally, only pay for what you want, not what the sales assistants want. So the first one, don't let a savvy salesman convince you, okay? And sometimes salesmen are really convincing. They make you think you need one thing over the other. I remember once I bought a BlackBerry instead of an iPhone or something, and I really regretted it. Because I don't know why, but obviously the guy in the shop was very adamant that a BlackBerry was better, and he was trying to show me all the good features of a BlackBerry. I don't know if he got commission due to the sale of the BlackBerry, but whatever. So, you know, some salesmen can be very convincing. And then the last one, only pay for what you want, not what the sales assistants want. And exactly the same issue, you know, with the BlackBerry thing. It's what they wanted because they'll get commission on that thing. So he's got 3 very good, very negatively biased opinions of salesmen. So all we need to do is go back to the question And it says to provide 3 examples, which we've now got. So we've got, don't let the sales team gloss over the boring bits, don't let a savvy salesman convince you, and only pay for what you want, not what the sales assistant wants. Okay? Alright, so that's quite a nice question, I thought. Let's have a look at another one. Give 4 opinions presented as fact in document 3. So that you've got to pick out something that is an opinion, but they've said that it's true. They've not obviously used the word true, and they haven't used the word fact, but they've said it like it is the best, or it is this, okay? So even though that's an opinion, it sounds like a fact. Let's have a look at the document and you can see what I mean. So if you want to pause the video and have a go at finding the opinions based as presented as facts, please pause the video now. Okay, so if you pause the video, I'm going to go through the sections where things are presented as true. So the first one is here, the world's smartest smartphone. Obviously, it's not the world's smartest smartphone. Well, it might be, I don't know, but it's not true. It's not a fact, but they've said it as though it is. We then have superior sound quality. Now, it might have superior sound quality, but then it says, giving your music star-shattering sound. Well, obviously, star-shattering sound, it's not true, is it? It's not fact. So it's presented as fact, but it's just opinions. Slim, sleek, space-age handset. Again, an opinion, but presented as a fact. Access to thousands of apps, which are processed at the speed of light. So they're saying they're the quickest as well. Now, let's see if there's anything else in here. I don't think there is, no. Okay, so, I mean, you might have found some others that you think you could use, that's fine. I just concentrated on the ones that I could see straight away. The reason I do that is because if you look at the question, okay, you need 4, and you get 4 marks, and it doesn't matter which 4, so pick out the ones you can see as quickly as you can, because then that'll give you more time for the harder questions. Okay, so we've got those 4 opinions presented as fact. The world's smartest smartphone, slim, sleek, space-age handset, superior sound quality giving your music star-shattering sound, and access to thousands of apps which are processed at the speed of light. Okay, so lovely, 4-mark question. Let's look at this one then now. Using documents 2 and 3, summarise 4 positive qualities of the camera on the Galactica 1. So this isn't asking about an opinion or anything like that, it's just saying the 4 qualities of the camera phone. So obviously there might be some bias in there, but it doesn't matter because it's not asked us for that. So we can choose whatever pieces out of the text that we can find in order to find those 4 positive qualities of the camera phone. And it's quite a nice question. Now for this one, you can pause the video on this section if you want to have a read of it, but it does ask for both documents 2 and 3. So if you have the other one in front of you, then you can use that, because I don't want to give you time on this one and then time on the next one, because I have animations on each one. So if you have the documents in front of you, please have a go at the question now and pause the video. Okay, and if you've done that, or if you haven't, don't worry, we're just going to go through them now anyway. So, just one quick check of the question. Summarise in both documents 2 and 3, 4 positive qualities of the camera phone. Okay, so first one I found was, if you want to use your phone to view photos, then big is beautiful, like the Galactica 1's 7-inch screen. Okay, so we've already found one, it's got a big screen. Second one I found was the new Galactica 1 has a 48-hour battery life, which I thought was quite impressive compared to other camera phones. Okay, now then, any more on this one? I don't think so. Okay, so we found 2 on this one here. Alright, and now we're just going to look at document 3. And we have best camera. Okay, if you can see that there. And then it says automatic face recognition feature built into the camera. Nice. And then I love the lens attachment that makes my phone feel like a real camera. So we've found quite a few in there that talks about camera. If you do a paper-based test, feel free to highlight and underline bits that you want to pick out. I understand that on the online versions it can be quite tricky, and there will be some links for you to have a go at the online sample papers to give you some practice. But please, if you really want to sit a paper-based exam, don't hesitate to get in touch with me. My email is sadie@practicemanagersuk.org, which I'm sure most of you already know. But just let me know if you want an English paper exam rather than an online one, and I can speak to your tutors and try and get that sorted out for you. Okay, so we've found these ones then as well. So going back to our question, 4 positive qualities we have. It has a big screen. Now, I've not, just to point out, directly quoted from the source documents. I've just put it into my own words. So the first one was big is beautiful, it has a 7-inch screen, blah blah blah. I didn't say that, I just put it has a big screen, which makes it easy to view photos. Okay, so I don't have to directly quote from this one. It doesn't ask for quotations, it just says summarize 4 positive qualities. It has face recognition, nice and easy, don't have to write the whole sentence. The lens attachment makes it feel like a real camera. It has a 48-hour battery life, which is impressive compared to other camera phones. So I've kind of just summarised what they've said in my own words, and that's fine too. Okay, right. So, one more question then. According to Joanna Grange, what 3 ways can you prepare for your job at Must-Have Mobile phones, Must-Have Mobiles before starting? Now, I have covered this question before in another video. I just thought it was quite a nice one to add in because it's not necessarily bias or opinion, but it's just a nice one for picking out information. Now, the woman in the letter, actually, if I show you, she can be a little bit biased. She's trying to encourage the reader to be excited about her job, or try and get her to do the best she can in her job. So if you read it, or if you've already read it, you can see that there is a lot of persuasive language in there, which again can be not misconstrued, but can be construed as bias, and that's okay as well. So preparing for your job then at Must-Have Mobile phones. If you want to have a go, pause the video now, and then I'll go through the answers. Okay, so if you've paused the video and had a go, let's have a quick look through at the ways that we can prepare for Must-Have Mobiles. So here, brush up on your customer service skills. That's a nice easy one. It goes without saying that you will need to know all the features of the handsets that we sell. Accurately assess individual customer wants, needs and desires. Oops. Oh, we only need 3, sorry, I was looking for 4. So yeah, we only need 3, so we have brush up on your customer service skills, know all the features of the handsets, and assess individual customers' wants, needs and desires, or like learn a bit about it. So for our 3 marks then, we have brush up on customer service skills, know all the features, accurately assess individual customers' wants, needs and desires. That last one, you may disagree with me on there. I'm sure there's a better one, to be honest. Let's just go back a second. So I'm sure there is a few things you could do here, like develop your product knowledge, and try out some sample handsets we have in store. In the meantime, I suggest you spend time looking at independent comparison websites. So to be honest, that independent comparison websites would have been a better third answer than the one I just gave. So if you got that one, that's excellent, well done. Now that I'm looking back at this, I think actually that's not a very good answer. So the first 2 are fine. The third one, I probably would have only gained 2 marks out of the 3 on this one with this last one here. So like I said, it probably would have been better if you'd have got the price comparison sites answer. So well done if you got that. Okay, so I hope that's made it a little bit more understandable. If you have any trouble with those kinds of questions, again, please email me, or you can comment on the course lecture at the bottom. Well done, and I'll see you in the next lecture. Thank you from PMA.